Welcome everybody to the Baseball Tea. We are so excited, Big Z and I, to talk some baseball. Listen, we tried to get away from talking baseball, but here's the thing. When you love something the way that we love baseball, it's unavoidable, Big Z. It's unavoidable.
It is, man. It just keeps seeping into my mind. I was like, I have to tell the world. We have to talk about this. Like, we have to nerd out together and just tell the world. It doesn't even matter if anyone watches. We just want to put it out there because we love it so much. And we want to just have people enjoy it as much as we do. And I think that's why we just want to talk about it and just spread the love of baseball. And the playoffs are just so fun, especially this year. I think this personifies, like, this is baseball. This is why it's so great, and like, I hope that there's extra fandoms that are being created right now because these series are fantastic.
Well, dude, it's the entire playoff run has been absolutely electric. If you were watching baseball towards the end of the series, towards the end of the season, it has been so much fun. But yeah, it is a blast. We are so excited to be with you. This is the podcast, Baseball Tea. Social media, wherever you find us, the Baseball Tea, that is what we are. We just like talking baseball. And by the way, we weren't in the major leagues. It was none of that. No. I'm not Jeff Passan, nor is Big Z. We're just fans. We're just a couple of fans who love watching baseball. We might throw things at the wall every once in a while when things aren't going our way, but we kind of want to let you into that. And so this is Big Z. I mean, this has been crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when the playoffs started, okay, you look at the wild card, okay, two of the series, right, didn't go like every series went the distance, right?
Yeah.
Every single one besides one. I mean, it's insane, right? You would have thought maybe two go the distance, right? Maybe two, right? Maybe.
Usually, I feel like this is unprecedented, to be honest. Like, even in the LDS rounds, like, I feel like these teams are just so evenly matched this year. It's really weird. Like, Dodgers, Reds, you knew the Dodgers were going to sweep, even though that their bullpen is just trash. But other than that, like, it's pretty remarkable, like, how much these teams are just refusing to lose, and like, they're just putting their best stuff out there. Like, these teams believe that they can win this whole thing, and it's showing on the field. Right. And so, yeah, I loved it. I love that there was just not extra baseball, but so many series actually went the distance. And it's like, yes, like, there's no break in baseball. We're going to have baseball every single day, and there hasn't been a break since. And it's been great, man. Just high intensity baseball. The playoffs are the best.
Well, and it totally makes sense, right? Like, if you look at the Yankees, you look at the Red Sox, right? Like, a storied
They know each other.
Rivalry. Yeah. It's like everything you want in October. And for the Red Sox fans that were surprised, like, look, this series came down to the same exact thing. It's been the entire way, right? You led the league in errors, right? You had 116 errors this season, and it showed itself in a 3-game set, right? That's the problem with a 3-game set, is all of your, maybe you can get away with it, maybe you can kind of gimp in, maybe you can have a decent record, but in baseball, once the playoffs start, if you have a lot of errors, it's going to show itself. All those things that you've been hiding away come screaming to the surface. Like you just mentioned, the Dodgers and the Reds. The Dodgers absolutely dominated that series. It was never even close. And yet, when the bullpen came in,
it made it feel close.
It felt really, really close at times. And so those smaller things, right, become much, much larger errors. I mean, look at Detroit, Cleveland. Again, Cleveland struggles on offense. It absolutely continued in the postseason, right? They just could not keep up with what the Tigers were putting down, Right. It's those small things.
To me, like, for the Yankees, even though they lost, they went on to lose in pretty bad fashion to the Blue Jays in the LDS. Yes. But Cam Schlittler, this dude's a rookie. Like, and he came up, 3/4 of the way through the regular season. He wasn't even pitching for the team for the majority of the season, and he comes in and just shoves in Game 3. And like, the postseason, it's where stars are born. It's not during the regular season. The postseason is where you create your legacy. And this guy, for his first career postseason start, he's maybe made 3 starts in the regular season before this. And the way he just dominated the Red Sox and made them look like they didn't belong on the field was so fantastic to me. And that is why I love the intensity of the postseason. Like, that's the big thing that stood out to me. Like, this young guy, like, I don't even know how old he's, young 20s. And he just dominated this Red Sox lineup that, I thought going into the game, I thought the Red Sox were going to take it. They won game one. Yeah, they made some errors in game two, but I thought they were going to just take it, go on to the next round. But this guy, he was unhittable. He was unhittable, and the fans got behind them, and it was pretty remarkable just to see. So that stood out to me in that round.
Didn't he go like 8 innings? Didn't he go like
yes, he went 8 innings, a lot of strikeouts, no walks. Like, he was in complete control of that team, and the Red Sox, like, Alex Cora couldn't do anything about it. Like, his team just could not hit this guy. And a lot of times you think, like, if you're a fan of the Red Sox or you're a fan of whatever team, they're not hitting well, you got to look at the flip side of it. Like, maybe this pitching is just that good, and like, to be able to get 1 or 2 runs across the plate whenever that pitcher is pitching, like, you should consider that a blessing, right? And so it seems like the postseason, like, the pitching just amps up even more. And the team with the best pitching, whether it be starting pitching or a bullpen, those are the teams that usually win it. Like, and so Cam Schlittler, shout outs to that guy. He had a great series, and even in the LDS, he had a really good game, game 4. But yeah, that's what stood out to me in the wild card round for sure.
And
yeah,
if you're a Yankee fan, you got to feel good about it, right? Garrett Cole went down super early.
You have to.
So now at least next year you got 3, based on this, 3 great guys, right? Garrett Cole, Schlittler, and Fried. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Fried.
Huge. Yeah.
He was not the problem when they lost to the Blue Jays. I just want to say that he was a great signing. He was not the issue. The Blue Jays were just it didn't even seem like the Yankees showed up for that, to be honest with you. I mean, Judge, to his credit, got going. To me, a little bit too little, a little bit too late, right? I mean, to lose 2 at home, and they really didn't have any answers. The series was over. You can't lose both home games. You just can't. You've got to at least take one. You got to defend your home turf on one. Like, we can go into a lot of analysts and, like, especially in baseball, right? All the numbers all the time. But there's just certain things that are so simple to me. When the Yankees went down 2-0 at home, I was like, this is over. This is done. Like, this is absolutely not happening, man. Look at the Brewers, right? The Brewers literally beat the Cubs. You could not, when we talk about even matchups, right? The Brewers and the Cubs, that was possibly one of the most even series. All they did was they just held home court.
Right? And that's the benefit. Like, people talk about, why do you play 162 games? Why do, like, teams should take, some days off? That's why you don't take days off, because if you get the benefit of having home field advantage, that is exactly the reason why you want it. Because in that series, it showed itself why it's so important. The crowd gets behind you, and those players feed off the crowd. Like, I think the theme of that series was just like a big family feud. They're in the NL Central. They know each other so well. And, like, it was so hard for each team to best each other, right? There's a lot of chess being played, a lot of mixing and matching. Craig Counsell used to manage the Brewers, and he went over to the Cubs, like this huge betrayal for Milwaukee Brewer fans this whole time, and even the players. So, but that's why it's so important when you're talking about these long seasons, like, these players, they cannot take days off, because it can come down to one game difference, and that one game can give you that home field advantage. And that's a huge advantage, especially in the postseason, especially for those small market teams that these fans really rally around. You can see it, man. It probably creates an extra run or an extra half run advantage or something. Like, I'm sure there's like some crazy stat out there that shows that, but it is essential to have home field advantage, I think, in the playoffs. 100%.
Yeah, I think it's good to have home field advantage. I will say, I think the biggest problem for the MLB this year is probably going to be the Dodgers, from based on everything we're seeing, and the fact that they are just able to go into Philadelphia and no problem.
Huge.
That was shocking. But the starting rotation the Dodgers are able to put out, we're seeing all the stories, and obviously, full disclosure, I am a Dodger fan, but I totally get where everybody's coming from. Like, we are the big bad empire. When you're talking about a starting rotation with multiple Cy Youngs, right? And the fact that Tyler Glasnow, former Cy Young Award winner, is coming out of our bullpen in game 1. I mean, that's insane. And then he's going to pitch on game 4. I mean, those sorts of weapons are crazy. But before we get there, I do just want to comment. I want to say this name, and as a Dodgers fan, it's hard for me to give credit, but I felt so bad for this kid Miller on the Padres. I mean, this guy did everything he could do. He was unhittable against the Cubs. He came to the playoffs ready to go. It's not his fault the Padres could not score runs in 2 of those games, right? They won one game 3-0. The other games that they lost, and I think the game 3, Eric Hosmer was there. No, was it Eric Hosmer? No, it wasn't. He's been gone.
Homer Hosmer doesn't play there anymore. No,
he did not play there. Who hit the home run? I wanted to say Eric Hosmer because obviously he's the guy, but somebody hit a solo home run for them in game 3, and that was the only time. But before that, they were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So it had nothing to do with Miller.
It had nothing to do with that. Well, and Padres fans may tell a different story about that, but I think it was the top of the 9th inning, game 3, they were down. And it was 3-2, and Xander Bogaerts looked at a pitch, and it was a ball. It was clearly a ball, but the umpire called him out, strike 3. That's baseball. Right. And he went ballistic, and then all this stuff, and then they had bases loaded, and then they scored another run in the inning, and they ended up losing by 1. But after the fact, like when the umpires were walking down through the away dugout into the tunnel, 2 guys, Xander and another guy on the Padres, were like berating them, like trying to, like, it looked like they were trying to fight them. I don't know like what the real intentions were, but it's in Padres fans like, well, it's terrible. They lost, the umpires lost in the game. But the Padres, like you said, they could not score with runners in scoring position.
0 for 8.
They're the ones who, the umpires are not the ones who went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They had plenty of opportunities. And yes, the Padres have downsized a little bit when it comes to their payroll, but they still have guys like Xander Bogaerts, like Manny Machado, like Fernando Tatis, who completely shrunk and disappeared during this playoff run, by the way, and he's your franchise shortstop. Like, I think it's time for the Padres to look at, maybe we need a leadership change. Maybe not at the managerial level, but maybe at the player level. Is Manny Machado really the right guy to lead this team to a World Series? Is this the guy we want to lead us into being a team to contend every single year? I don't know, because every single year it seems like they just disappear. They choke in the playoffs, especially with their bats. Their pitching is usually not the problem. It's usually offensively. And so I think you trade away one of the guys. I think you trade away either Tatis or Machado, and you figure it out. You kind of retool based off of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just look no further. I mean, yes, the end of that series was absolutely awful. It was absolutely awful. And then when you look at what was said after, right? This reporter comes to Machado and just asks him very simply, like, how do you feel about the game being over? And Aaron Judge literally gave a masterclass on this just days later. And it was like, hey, it's a bummer. Obviously we were wanting to win the last game. We didn't do it. We need to work on some things. I need to be better. I need to work so that I can help my team in every possible position. So this doesn't happen, but we are committed to what we're doing. We're committed to winning. We're committed to coming back. We're committed, gave all the right answers. And Machado was like, what do you expect me to say? We just lost the last game of the season.
What type of question is that?
What type of question is that?
Yeah.
It's like, you look at that sort of leadership.
It's not
to me,
leadership.
It's such an issue, and it goes to that exact thing where, like, all the way down to the minute levels. And like anybody who doesn't know, like, I coach a lot. I coach my kids a lot. I coach Little League quite a bit, and that is one of the biggest things, because umpires, they're gonna make mistakes, and that starts very young. And I tell the kids, I'm like, look, if you go watch a YouTube highlight reel of Angel Hernandez. That guy was in the MLB. That means he was one of the very best umpires of all time, and there's a highlight reel of the errors that he would make. So this idea that at some point it's going to get better is just so foolish to me. And if you let them dictate, like, your performance,
exactly,
right, or blame them, right? No, you were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. That's why you lost. It's not because, sure, was there a bad call in a key position? Yes. Have we all been a victim of that? Yes. Are they going to bring in the challenging system next year, which we're all very intrigued to see? Absolutely. So they're fixing that. But the idea that that's why you lost, come on. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
Break. Yeah.
And they certainly, this is again why in the playoffs it's the best of 3, right? Like, there's 3 games. So if one bad call made, well, win the other 2, right?
Exactly. And I'm sure if you look at it, the Cubs, there was a bad call made for the Cubs when they were batting. Like, like, this is baseball. Like, it's not, it's just silly to me. But again, it just shows you at the end of the day, like there's lack of accountability there with Machado and the leadership, when it comes to the players. And they've always had issues in that clubhouse. And so, yeah, I think it's a great point, man. Like, it's time to move on with one of those guys, and get a new voice when it comes to like a player leader in that clubhouse.
They've got to figure something out,
Yeah,
because
they're too talented. They're too
losing the
talented.
Cubs, I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm a Dodger fan. I picked the Padres. I thought the Padres were going to come out against the
Me
Cubs,
too.
and I thought
Yeah.
there was a good chance they would at least push the Brewers. I thought they'd at least push them the same way the Cubs did. Which, again, shout out to the Cubs. The Cubs had a great series against the Brewers. Took it to 5 games. That was a very, very exciting series. Again, very evenly matched. Whoever was at home won the game.
Yep. Right.
What else can you say? The Dodgers Phillies, again. Dodgers went in, took the first 2. That was insane.
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, I'm a Dodger fan too. So I thought, out of all the series and all the teams, I thought that those were the 2 best teams in the playoffs. I thought it was a Goliath versus a Goliath type of thing. And you just saw it, man. Like, from the pitching staffs to the lineups, like, these teams were so dialed in all series long. Like, and even though it went only 4, the Phillies are a good team. Like, it could have easily gone 5, and it's just one ball difference when Mookie took that to tie the game in the bottom of the 7th, and in that game 4 with bases loaded. Like, it just takes that discipline. Like, that's like the big difference. But man, what a series! Like, if you wanted good baseball, if you wanted to see good pitching and good good moves with the managers, I mean, yeah. As Dodger fans, we always get on Dave Roberts, but he made some good moves. He did make some good moves. I'd say game 2 was a little iffy at the end of the game, putting Trinan in. Should have brought Roki Sasaki in instead, because he did.
That's crazy.
Man, I just thought, like, this is the top. This is the top class of the league right now, and in both teams. And it was a shame that they had to play each other in a best of 5. I would have much rather them played each other in the NLCS in a best of 7, because you just would have seen so much more just great baseball. But you talking about the Dodgers taking the first 2 in Philadelphia. I mean, it's the first time the Dodgers have beat the Phillies in the playoffs since 1978. Like, just think about that. Like, the Dodgers, how great they've been for the past 14 years. And they haven't played the Phillies since then in that time frame. So I was like, oh, this is kind of like a measuring stick of where they're at. Philadelphia is a hard place to play, man. Like, those fans really get behind the team. And for them to come in clutch like the way they did, Teoscar Hernandez with that 3-run homer in game 1, in game 2, just them being able to pass the baton through the lineup and getting those singles and those doubles when it mattered, and the pitching being able to shut it down, even though the ruckus crowd is behind them. It just shows you, like, again, that goes back to Dave Roberts, I think, just calming them down and just like really speaking confidence into this team. Like, I believe in you. You can do this. And also the experience. They've been there before. People think, well, if the Dodgers are bound to lose, it's baseball, right? Like, the best team on paper, they're bound to lose. This is what happens. But the more experience that these guys gain, the harder it is to get them out. The harder it is to strike them out, like in these crazy situations, right? If it's a 3-2 count, like you saw in game 4, Mookie Betts with bases loaded, that pitch was right above the zone. A lot of guys swing at that, right? That fastball. It looks juicy, and he took that walk. That was a ballsy ball 4 to take, and he took it. Like, and that just shows, that's the experience in postseason ball, right? The pressure's on you. It doesn't matter. They're still able to slow it down. I just thought that this was a total Goliath versus Goliath series. I loved it, man. What do you think? What do you think about it?
100%. There was, when you look at the series, I watched a lot. I watched the Tigers. I watched them play the Mariners. I looked and I thought Rodriguez looked incredible. Obviously, their big dog, the big dumpy himself, the big dumper, was going to do some damage, dude. We all knew he was going to, and he did. Right? When I saw Jack Flaherty come in, I thought the Tigers got away with that one. Jack Flaherty did not look good at all coming in relief for that game. He turned a double play that was quite shocking, honestly, with the way he was pitching. I thought he was going to be into that game, but that, again, another tight series with the Mariners and Detroit. But as I was watching them, as I was watching Detroit and the Mariners, as I was watching the Yankees and the Blue Jays, as I was watching the Cubs and the Brewers, the one series, and again, giving all the respect that I possibly can to the Phillies, it felt like when the Dodgers brought in a Cy Young, the Phillies had an answer. And when they brought in the next piece, the Phillies had another answer. And then all of a sudden, Bryce Harper was up at the plate, right? All of a sudden, another big dog. We're talking Castellanos was benched on this team.
Yeah,
A
it's
guy
crazy.
that would unquestionably be a starter on any other franchise team. Glasnow coming in Game 4. If Glasnow right now went to the Brewers, he's starting Game 1. He is unquestionably starting Game 1. If he goes to the Blue Jays, he's starting Game 1. That is
embarrassment
what he's
of riches,
doing.
man. Yeah.
And he is coming into Game 4.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. There's a lot of people who are going to hate this take. Honestly, in my opinion, the Phillies and the Dodgers was the World Series this year.
Yeah.
Any team that came out of that matchup, that was the World Series. But I want to give respect where it's due. I think the Mariners looked fantastic tonight. Moving on to the ALCS and the NLCS, I thought the Mariners looked absolutely fantastic. Well done. I think the Blue Jays were a little bit shocked, and I think they were shocked because of the lack of fight that the Yankees put up. I think they sort of had a false sort of confidence a little bit going into this game of just being able to score runs, because that's what they did, right? And the Yankees, they just blew them out. It was like 13-8 and 15 to what it was just ridiculous, right? And they were just scoring runs. And the Mariners came in. Shout out to Miller, 3 days rest. That was insane.
Huge. They needed that.
Gutsy performance. Like 6 innings. That kid, when we're talking about the Dodgers, that kid could pose a problem. 3 days rest, that's impressive. So,
I mean, first pitch home run he gives up to Springer, and I'm like, ooh, in that first inning, I think he was at like 25 pitches, and then in the sixth inning, he was only like at 65.
I wanted somebody to check Springer's jersey. You know what I mean? Is there a buzzer in there? Let's just make sure. You know what I mean? Let's just make sure
you're not doing it again.
Let's just double check.
Yeah.
Because that was the one hit they had, and it was a home run. Let's just make sure.
Yeah, man. I think. We're not over 2017, by the way. So let's just get that clear right now.
Never get over it.
But the Blue Jays, I think that the Mariners did catch them off guard, because in Game 5 of the ALDS, they gave it all. They had Luis Castillo come out. They had Logan Gilbert come out. They had every man on deck. And the only starter that they had available was Bryce Miller. And like you said, on 3 days rest, and the dude just straight up delivered. It was such a gutsy performance. And I think, and this is Game 4 of the ALDS, the Blue Jays had a bullpen game, right? And so the Yankees fans were like, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. It's going to be fine. I think this is what Blue Jays fans thought today. Oh, they're going to start Miller on 3 days rest. Maybe he goes 2 or 3, and then they're going to get their bullpen. Maybe, and I think that's the approach the batters took, and they didn't look like they were able to slow Vladdy Jr. down. And Vladdy Jr. was hitting 600 coming into this game in the postseason, and he went 0 for 3, 0 for 4, something like that. And it's great. And I don't know, man. There's something special about this Mariners team. I think, like, you can tell out of all the teams, like the city of Seattle just willed that team to win in the first round. I think, like, you could tell they fed off of that crowd. Like, they needed the fans in that Game 5, in that every single inning at the 15th inning. They needed those fans, and those fans helped them get over the hump. And I think that they're starting to like truly believe. I think up there, it's very special to them. I don't know why. But there's like this magic, this aura around them, and that city is just like fully behind them. And I think this is huge. I think the Mariners take this thing in 6. I think the Blue Jays have a fight on their hands for sure. I think on paper, the Blue Jays have more firepower. I think they have more, maybe the better bullpen. But when it comes to like that spirit, that magic, and that aura, I think the Mariners have it, man.
I gotta say, I think it's both. I think it's both. When I look at this Blue Jays team, I think everything was inflated against the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees had it. The Yankees bullpen was bad.
Yeah.
Right. The one guy they had was Fried, right? And then obviously Schlesinger, who had whatever his Schlittler. I'm so terrible.
It's a hard name to say, like Poppy.
Yeah,
Poppy
I don't know what his name. But regardless, it's like regardless of what it is, they had a really easy go of it against the bullpen. Again, the Yankees were not able to get anybody out. And even when the Yankees did battle back offensively, the bullpen gave it up. So they were able to just hit and hit and hit. And I think all the Blue Jay fans came to this game and were like, oh, look, 500 average, 600 average, 300 average. Look at the bottom of their lineup is already batting 222. And then they finally faced real pitchers that the Mariners are going to bring to the table. And all of a sudden, it was a very different story. And when I look at these two teams, Springer, fine. Give him his credit. I don't like the guy. Nothing you can tell me will make me like this guy. He's a cheater. He'll always be a cheater. That is what he is. And then you look at Vladdy Guerrero, who I have a lot of respect for, but they're missing Bo Bichette, right? They're missing their big dog. To me, when I look at the rest of this lineup, I mean no disrespect. Some Blue Jays fans are going to listen to this, but you're clearly hating. I'm not hating.
Yeah,
you guys overperformed against the Yankees with a terrible, terrible pitching performance. That is not the story, right? You look at Seattle, on the other hand, J.P. Crawford is their 9th hitter. Right. Let me repeat that for the back of the room.
That is huge.
J.P. Crawford is their 9-hole. Okay? This team is deep. They've got role players that know exactly what they need to do. You had guys. One of the things that stuck out to me, certainly, I think it was Canzoni or Robles, one of the two, hit a ball straight to second base, moved the runner over. You would have swore this guy hit a home run. He literally turns like, yeah, way to go.
Right. They know their roles. They know their jobs. Yep.
My job here, we have no outs. I'm moving him from second to third so that anybody can hit him in. I love this Mariners team. I think they have this. I'm with you 100%, Big Z.
Yeah, man.
I think it probably goes 6 because, I do. It sounds like I'm disrespecting the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays have a good team.
They have a good team. They're going to put up a fight.
And that in a 7-game series, that will give you a couple wins. But it's like you said, it's the fundamentals. It's the guys that know, no, I'm going to bat for the team. I'm not going to bat for myself, right? I'm going to bat for the city. I'm not going to bat for myself. And that's what gets you over the hump, right? That's what separates you from the have-nots.
Personally,
you become the haves. Yeah.
The other thing, personally, for me, just real quick, I look at the Mariners. They have the best outfield in the playoffs left.
Oh, defensively?
Yes. By a country mile. You're talking about Rodriguez, right? A Rosarina. Are you kidding me? And Robles. Yeah. They have the best outfield left. Defensively, I think they are studs. I think even should they move on to play, who I do believe will get into a second, will play the Dodgers, I think they're going to give the Dodgers an absolute series. I 100%. Certainly don't think it's going to be a cakewalk, but I believe in this Mariners team. I think they're really great, and I'm rooting for the city of Seattle. I think they could use a win, right? Has Seattle, have they been to the World Series?
They've never been in the World Series.
Dear Lord.
The last ALCS they made was in 2001, and then before that was 95, and that was it. That's it.
Good for you know what, dude? Good for them. Good for them because it's like it's like watching Browns fans. Like I don't like the Browns, but a little bit it's like I'm rooting for you. I hope you win.
I hope you get the playoffs. I hope you get a playoff win.
It's like watching the Jets at this point. You're like, Justin, just throw one touchdown. Just one touchdown. Like you're rooting for him. But just to again, when you look at the playoff pitchers that have balled, right? I mean, the Mariners have a few guys. They have a few guys that look fantastic. I think they have an absolute shot at this, Big Z.
It's crazy to me. Tariq Skubal on the Tigers, like the AL Cy Young winner. He's going to win the award.
Yeah.
Jorge Polanco hit 2 homers off of him in game 2.
That was crazy.
Jorge Polanco. And no disrespect to him, but just another role player, like you said, but just able to do what he needs to do in the moment. And then tonight comes out with a huge go-ahead run with the hit. Gets the RBI tonight against Toronto.
2.
2. Again, it just shows you like these guys know exactly what they need to do, exactly during the situation that they need to be in. And it's so impressive. And props to Dan Wilson, their manager. They let go of Scott Service last year. They bring in Dan Wilson, a former catcher of the Mariners of their 1995 ALCS team who played with Jay Buhner and Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez, Randy Johnson, those guys. And it's just so cool. Another player's manager. Just so cool to see teams like that, that are just willing to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. So,
absolutely.
It's awesome. NL, I think, I don't know. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think the Dodgers have it.
The Brewers,
even though they have home field, they just are not. I don't know. Like they're and it's not just because it's the Dodgers.
No.
I think it's the Brewers have a very young team. They don't have the experience that the Dodgers have. And look, it's baseball. Anything can happen. And there seems a lot of magic has happened for the Brewers this season. I just don't think that you can rely on that against a team like the Dodgers. I just
the way that they struggled against the Cubs, who I thought when I looked at the teams coming into the playoffs, I thought the Reds were the worst team. All right. I thought Cleveland was probably right beside them.
Yes.
Okay. And then I thought the Cubs. I thought the Red Sox were a better team than the Cubs top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
The way that the Brewers struggled with the Cubs, the Cubs do not have anywhere near the pitching the Dodgers do. They don't have anywhere near the hitting the Dodgers do. And the scariest part for the entire league right now, I get it. I've seen all the posts. America's rooting for you, blah, 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 blah. The Dodgers bats are not going. The only Dodger hitting really well right now is Mookie Betts. We have one guy who's bashing the crap out of the ball.
Shohei went 1 for 17.
If you told most teams, if you tell them that their guy, their dude, because that Shohei is that guy, even for the Dodgers, he's that guy. He's the MVP. He's going to be the NL MVP again.
Yeah, 100%.
That if the MVP of the NL went 1 for 17, you tell, they were probably in trouble. But nope, the Dodgers won in 4. Right? They were the series besides the Yankees and the Blue Jays that only went 4 games. Right? Like that is insane. The firepower this team has. And again, the story that everybody's been telling, the finding and the discovery of Roki Sasaki, it just we have 4 starters that are going to go 6 or 7 every single night. And then you're looking at Vesia, who's cleaned it up, right?
Yep,
He's absolutely cleaned it up.
Yeah.
A few pieces in the Dodger bullpen, and then you have kids like Sheehan, right? Like that's the thing. The Dodgers aren't going to their pen; they're going to starters. They're going to guys who had 3 ERAs, right? 2.62 ERAs, and they're coming in the clutch. Look, Brewers fans, I don't mean any disrespect, but this is If it goes 5, I would say I think I'm going to give the Brewers that respect. I think the Brewers snag a game. I'll say that. I think the Brewers find a way to snag a game. But again, I just don't know who that's against, right? Like I guess based on the last performance we saw from Yamamoto, you could touch him.
That was Yamamoto at his worst, you know. Again, it's exactly it's the point you're making. I'm proving the point you're making.
Snell, Yamamoto. Shohei, and Glasnow. So you're talking about Cy Young, future Cy Young whenever Paul Skeens comes back down to earth, and 2-time Cy Young. I mean, look, again, it's not disrespect. And the Brewers fans are thinking like, oh, if we just get to the bullpen, Roki Sasaki can go 2 innings a night. He's a starting pitcher. That's not a big deal for him.
Right.
He's going to be fine with that. And again, you're Sheehan, Kershaw hadn't pitched in a while. I know Kershaw just got lit up, and everybody wanted to talk about that. He hadn't pitched in 2 weeks. As soon as he came in, I was like, "This is not going to go well." He hasn't thrown the ball in 2 weeks. This is not going to go well.
Dave put him out there in the 8th inning just to
He punted the game. He's going to be just fine. But you look at Sheehan, you look at some of the pieces that we got. You got to believe Trinan at some point is going to figure this out.
I think so. Yeah.
What do you think, Big Z? What do you got this thing going?
I'd say Dodgers in 6,
Okay.
just because the Brewers have home field, but again, the Dodgers won in Philadelphia, which is way more ruckus and a tough environment than Milwaukee. I guess I'm just too scarred from Dodgers playoff past, and I'm giving them the Brewers 2 games just because I know how these things happen, and baseball is a weird game.
100%.
But I still have the Dodgers winning it, and even though it goes in my prediction goes 6, I think the Dodgers convincingly win in 6. Like, the Brewers won 2 games, but the Dodgers always had it, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Dodgers, they won, they swept the Reds, but it felt very close, right? Oh my gosh! But it was like, okay, now the Dodgers had it the whole time. So I have the Dodgers in 6. I just think that the firepower, like first off, like you talked about, the pitching staff is just gonna overpower the Brewers. The Brewers have Freddie Peralta. That's it. They have Jacob Mizorowski, a great young story, a rookie. He throws gas, but the second half of the season, teams started figuring him out, and he did okay, but you could tell like he's been struggling. He struggled against the Cubs, giving up. He's starting to walk guys. His control, he lost it
Right.
during that. But the firepower, the lineup this Dodgers team has. You talked about it. The Dodgers haven't been hitting. If Shohei wakes up, right? If Freddie wakes up, it's maybe a sweep.
And we just
right?
got Will Smith, and we just got Will Smith back. I mean, you're talking about the best offensive catcher when
Right,
you're
he's
going
getting
up against
healthier and
a team-
healthier as time goes on.
You're going up against a team with Yelich with 29 home runs, and that was their biggest home run hitter. Look, it's no disrespect,
Exactly.
but
It's not. But again, this is on paper. This is a very objective look at it. If we're being subjective, we'd say the Dodgers in 4, right? So,
right, subjective would be worse because the Dodgers just beat the best lineup, in my opinion, a lineup that probably
full, like you said, they're full of Hall of Famers, and you saw it. Bryce Harper said like he thought that this team was a team that was going to take it all, but they just ran up against the Dodgers. You know, the last game of the season, the last series of the season, that when they found out they were going to play the Dodgers, how upset they were. And how unfair they probably thought, man, seriously, we had such a good season. We got the number 1 seed, and we have to play this team. It's crazy.
The Dodgers were injured. That was the biggest thing. A lot of people looked at this team, and I heard comments from friends. It's like, oh, well, look at the highest payroll, and they can't even get first place. They were injured. They didn't have Glass down for most of the year. Snell was down for most of the year. Like, literally, all 3 of the guys. Shohei wasn't available for almost all the year. 3 of our 4 starting guys in the playoffs were not available all year, and so that's why everybody, well, they weren't that good. They were the 3rd seed. No, you just don't watch baseball. If you watch baseball, you'll understand where we're coming from. I mean, again, Stott, 9th hole hitter. Castellanos, 8th-hole hitter. Kepler, 7th-hole hitter. That was a complete lineup. It's a lineup the Brewers don't have. The Dodgers, if we were being subjective, we'd say 4.
Exactly.
I'm being nice. I'm saying 5. Big Z is nice. He says 6. But listen, you guys got to follow us on Instagram, okay? We're going to start posting more. We're going to start reacting. We're going to start jumping on there. We're going to start making videos, throwing them down there to videos, to games we just watched. The offseason, we'll have some news for you. We'll figure all that out. And then, we'll have some stuff coming for you guys. So just follow the Instagram. All right. We're going to talk some baseball. Baseball's pretty much year round. And then I think we talked about it. We're going to talk some Little League, right? Little League World Series. We watch all that stuff. Oh, and then, dude, I'm so excited. World Baseball Classic next March. I'm already excited.
Yes.
I can't wait.
I mean, I'm so hyped for that. Last round was so awesome a few years ago. Japan versus USA in the final.
It's going to be
striking out Trout. I mean, so epic. So cool. Like these guys, for some of these guys, it's like it's their World Series. Like it's more important than the World Series.
Yes.
They want to rep their country. They have that pride, and you could just see it on the field. It's just so cool. It's awesome, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be cool. Like we're nerds. We love baseball. Like Fredo said, follow us. Just listen, talk, comment with us, argue with us. Agree with us, whatever you want. But we enjoy it. We just want to talk to you guys about it. So we appreciate you guys listening.
Yep, that is it. We are so glad. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Whatever you're doing, we appreciate you. This is the baseball tea. All right, we love it. We can't not talk baseball. That's why we're doing this. Have a great night, great week, great weekend. Enjoy these series. Again, check us out on Instagram. We'll be watching games. I literally just got done watching the Mariners and the Blue Jays. My sons were like, they're so tired of it. Like, the Dodgers aren't even playing, Dad. I'm like, I don't care. It's playoff
baseball.
It's like hockey, man. I can't say that I'm never going to talk hockey here because I love playoff hockey, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, Big Z.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got it. We got you. All right,
we
guys.
got you. Have a great night.